Hi again, everybody. My name is Greg Anderson, and today I want to talk about this vehicle. This is a 2014 Honda Pilot, and for the last 10 years it's been used as a company car, as a fleet vehicle. It's a car used by TV news photographers, and so I'm now working as a TV news photographer for a TV station in Salt Lake City. This car spent 10 years doing that kind of work, or working with photographers, and so 206,000 miles on the odometer in 10 years. And around here in the West, maybe that's not a huge amount of miles for 10 years, but those are hard miles for a car like this. Because what happens with a TV photographer, it's kind of like police, actually. They show up on scene, they have a car that they need to use kind of as their mobile office. When the police are investigating something, a lot of times you might see cars that are, the police are sitting in the car for a long time, the car's idling and they're working on their computer, they're doing stuff like that, or maybe they're not even in the car, it's still out there idling. The air conditioner is running in the summertime to keep the car comfortable for when they want to go back, or in the wintertime the heater's running so it'll be comfortable when they go back to the car. So the TV news photographer car gets used in much the same way. And so I'm sure that all that idling is not necessarily the best thing for a car. So 206,000, you might boost that by several thousand miles equivalent just because of all that idling. So what we do in the news business, we might go out, especially here in Utah. Our TV stations cover the entire state as far as our broadcast range and the community that we serve, right? So what we do for news, we might have to drive an hour or two just to get to a place where we're going to gather the news. Once we're there, maybe there's a place we can stop and use kind of as our office, a restaurant or a bookstore or public library, something like that, and work there for a while. But oftentimes, it's just sitting in the car. So in the car, you need, again, air conditioner or heating to stay comfortable there. You need to run your laptop computers because you're writing stuff or you're editing video. You maybe need to charge up batteries, all those sorts of things. That's why we run the engine and are working on that. And yeah, so that's why we do what we do. Now this car is about to be decommissioned, so I gave it a good wash, just one last time. No one's expecting this of me. Within the next few days, this car is going to be probably sitting at a scrapyard somewhere, okay? Because it's got some other problems, and it runs pretty well, but catalytic converters have gone bad, and there's more than one catalytic converter, so that's expensive. The air conditioner is a little bit on the fritz, a little bit unreliable, as is the heating. Heating and air conditioner both. You never quite know when they're going to work, and it's just age, mechanical problems, all that. It's just not worth fixing it up anymore. And so they've been working out a deal where they're going to get a brand new car, and maybe by the time you actually see this, I will be driving, instead of this, I'll be driving a brand new Ford Explorer, 2025 model year Ford Explorer. So it'll be my personal challenge to keep that Ford Explorer in a lot better condition than this car here. Now I know that at least two other guys had long-term assignments that were to drive this car. What we do at our TV station, I don't know how it works everywhere, but you'll generally have a set of gear, camera, lights, microphones, all that sort of stuff, assigned to a specific person to use that gear for the long term. So you're not always having to make adjustments to your gear when one cameraman prefers a different setting over another. Also with the vehicles, long term you're going to drive this vehicle for a while, and you're responsible for making sure it gets properly maintained. Company will pay for that, but you got to make sure it's happening, right? And just taking good care of it. And yeah, so this car has some problems, and I like to say, because it's true, it was like this when I got it, because I've only been driving this car for about 6 months. Before that I was driving a 2016 Chevy Traverse, and I'm not that impressed with the 2016 Chevy Traverse. Again, that one was driven by someone else, at least two other guys long-term before me. I'm not sure they took very good care of it, made sure it was up to date on all the maintenance and just every little thing, getting that taken care of before it becomes a big problem. So the Traverse, not impressed. But in addition to the fact that it might have been kind of hammered before I got it, there were things about the Traverse that really bothered me. Like, for example, headlight lamp went bad on the Traverse. I thought, well, that's easy, because the cars I'm used to, you open the hood, you reach in there behind the headlight lamp, you know, and just this little thing you twist out, you replace the bulb, twist it back in. Oh, not with the 2016 Traverse. No, sir. You had to get a special, you know, Torx screwdriver or some, I don't know exactly what they're called, but you had to get that, and you had to remove a bunch of trim inside the wheel well and kind of reach your hand inside and somehow get up there to where the lamp was, and then pull it out and then replace it and then squeeze it back. It's just like really unnecessarily complicated to change a lamp on the headlight. And then one time the alternator went bad. So I know we tax these cars a lot with increased power necessities, right? With running our laptops and our battery chargers and all that stuff. So the alternator went bad. I think it might have already been a heavy-duty alternator, but nevertheless, the alternator went bad. So I took it in, thinking, again, old school with my Corolla or, you know, cars I'm used to, alternator, it's just right there on the front of the engine. You know, maybe loosen a couple of bolts and then you take the alternator out, and, you know, you undo the wiring harness, put the new one in, put it back together, you know, make sure the belt's right, and then you're on your way. Oh, not with the Chevy Traverse. No, no, no. It was an extra like 3 or 4 hours of labor, which again, they charge for the labor, just to get to the alternator, because they had to, I don't know, they had to take a bunch of stuff away from the engine to get to the alternator and then put it, so anyway, I don't know if the Ford Explorer is going to be quite like that. I'm assuming all the lights are going to be LED, so maybe I'll never have to worry about changing those. I don't know about the alternator. Again, this is maintenance that, you know, the company will pay for it, but it's still kind of a hassle for me to, you know, carve out 4 hours to get an alternator replaced. Something that should take like 10 minutes in the cars I'm used to. I know that getting used to the new Ford Explorer, there's going to be a bit of a learning curve, because I'm used to cars that are at least 10 years old. So the new car is going to have a lot more electronics. Some of them will be legitimately good upgrades, convenience features, things that will help the driver. I'm actually looking forward to being able to integrate my smartphone with what the car does for easier access to navigation. Maps right there on the touch screen. And you know, hands-free phone calls very well integrated into there, and text messages and all those sorts of things that the phone does, integrated well into the car in, we hope, a way that's not going to be distracting to me or difficult for me to be the good driver while I'm there. I'm looking forward to that sort of thing, although I know it's going to be a bit of a learning curve. When I tried to do some investigation into what is the new Ford Explorer going to be like, I'm watching other guys' videos, and obviously people who make videos about cars all the time, and I'm noticing too much emphasis on the fact that, you know, the new Ford Explorer with the dual turbochargers is really fast. So they take it to a drag strip, and actually, you know, they're doing quarter-mile runs and 0 to 60 times and all that. And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not going to get the high-performance Ford Explorer. No, I'm not going to get that version of the car. And even if I did, I'm not going to be taking it to the drag strip. This is my company car that I'll be using for just regular work. And I'm assuming that most people who watch these videos are considering buying a Ford Explorer to just be like a family car. You're going to go buy the groceries, you're going to go camping, whatever, and maybe you'll do a little bit of off-road travel, or maybe you'll be towing a trailer or something. But again, this is for your family car. I don't think your wife is going to go to the drag strip to check on the 0 to 60 times on your Ford Explorer. So anyway, I'm looking forward to getting to know the new Ford Explorer. And when I do, I'm going to be making some videos about that car that I will share with you, a series of videos. So if you're interested in the Ford Explorer, I will have some videos that kind of go over things that maybe most of the other guys experienced in making car videos are not talking about. For me, it's more going to be how to go from 10 years old, you know, driving experience to something brand new. And what is that like? I'll tell you, the other day, I was on an assignment actually, and we were in a different city, so we rented a car to do this assignment. It was a Nissan Rogue, and automatic transmission, as most cars are today. but there's a certain little thing you have to do on the handle to actually get it into reverse. And I couldn't figure that out. I had to look it up because it was a little counterintuitive. You push from park to reverse is pushing forward on that Nissan Rogue. And so anyway, you know, guys of my generation, we like to make fun of younger people who don't know how to drive a manual transmission car. And here I was unable to figure out an automatic transmission car, the Nissan Rogue. Let's take this journey together. But before I do, you know, I'm all excited because it's in just a few days, it's that brand new Ford Explorer. And I have to tell you another thing. You know, I like to say all little dings and scratches and bumps and bruises on every single corner of this car. It was like that when I got it. Okay, I don't know what's wrong with, you know, the younger drivers, that they bang up every single corner of this car. But I don't want that to happen on the new Ford Explorer. And in all fairness, you know, a lot of times when we're doing the work that we do, we might have to go to, you know, commercial parking lots or parking garages. And, you know, it's funny to me that the places where you have to pay to park are actually the places where it's most difficult to park sometimes, because you have to go through narrow entrances and there's pillars and posts. And I suppose if you're not really, really vigilant, it is very easy to bump into things and cause all those dents and dings on every single corner of this car. When I get the new Ford Explorer, only on that first day can I say it was like this when I got it. Because everything else after that is going to be either, you know, just regular wear and tear, or some scratches or dings, or maybe, you know, a rock chip on the windshield. It's going to be things that I can no longer say it was like that when I got it. Because when I got it, or when I will get it, it's going to be perfectly brand new. And it will never be in that condition again. So it is my challenge to take really, really good care of a brand new Ford Explorer. And we'll see how that happens. One more thing about this as we pay tribute to the retiring, almost decommissioned Honda Pilot. There are two things in this car that are different from a standard Honda Pilot. One of them is like a CB radio. And the reason for this radio is that probably, I don't know, 20 years ago or more, that was a good, easy way to make sure that the in the field photographers and reporters were keeping good communication with, you know, the TV station. So you arrive there and you can say, hey, it's Greg. Well, I've arrived at the structure fire. Let us know when you want us to go live on the air. You know, and you would do that with the radio. But since then, and I suppose when this car was put into commission 10 years ago, there were probably still some photographers working there that preferred to use the radio instead of cell phones. But today, everyone's using cell phones. I'm sure the radio in this car has not been turned on in years. And so I'm pretty sure that when they get the new Ford Explorer all equipped for me to use, they're not going to put a radio like that in it. Just no. I mean, you got the infotainment system, you know, connected to the cell phone. We'll rely on that. No radio necessary. So there's a radio, a couple antennas then near the hood to go with that radio. The other thing that's in this car that you wouldn't normally get in a Honda Pilot like this is a really powerful inverter. So you're taking the battery power, 12-volt battery power, the system power in the car, and you're inverting that into 120-volt alternating current. So anything you would normally plug into the wall in your office or, you know, your house, so, you know, battery chargers for these camera batteries and, you know, the laptop accessories and lights and whatever else you're plugging in, you can plug those into the inverter. So I know that the Ford Explorer comes standard, I think, with an inverter. Maybe you have to get an upgraded package to get an inverter, but I think it only has one plug. So they're going to install in the new Ford Explorer a beefier power inverter than what normally comes with it. Other than that, it's just going to be kind of a standard Ford Explorer. And I'll talk all about it when I actually have it, and we'll see how that goes. But let's just take a moment to pay tribute to this car, literally on its last couple of days of service. And hats off to the Honda Pilot for safely taking us to all those newsworthy places, 206,000 miles worth. And we hope you get recycled into something really useful really soon. All right, see you soon with the Ford Explorer All right, can't wait to talk about that one.